I'm strung out on Dilaudid horribly.
Mm-hmm.
I'm now not paying my rent at my apartment that I just got a couple months ago. I'm kind of realizing I have a problem. Uh, so I lose the apartment. I ended up at a buddy of mine's house that I wrestle with. His mom, he always just tell me like his mom's like a paranoid schizophrenic, right? And he's like, yeah, sometimes she freaks out, and then they have to like I have to give her this medicine that like knocks her out. So I'm over there because I have nowhere else to go one night, and that thought comes to my mind. It's like, oh, I remember him telling me about this medication that like knocks his 400-pound mom out.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I will go and get some of that,
Yeah.
and then I'll use that. I'll just sleep the dope sickness away, and like I'm instantaneously cured of being an addict, right? So I go and I find the stuff he's talking about. It's called Haldol. Apparently, it's like quite the antipsychotic drug. It's like if you're freaking out in anywhere, like a mental institution, that's what they pop you full of, and then you knock out for a while.
Mm.
So like I go up there and I'm like, cool. So I take a whole bottle of it.
Wow.
I have my needles because it's like liquid, so it's intermuscular, whatever. So I pull out my needles and I fill a complete syringe full, pop it in myself. I wait a couple minutes. I'm like, all right, nothing's happening. So I go back to the bottle. I take another syringe, fill it up all the way. I pop it, wait a little bit, nothing happens.
Mm.
So I'm like, well, this knocks out his 400-pound mom. Like,
Right.
what's the deal? So I go back one more time. I fill up a third syringe all the way, and then I muscle pop it. Nothing happens. So I'm like, well, shit, man, that was a complete waste of my time. So I go back to like chasing the Dilaudid, and I'm on the way to go. Like I somehow scraped together enough money to get a shot, right? And then I'm on the way to get it, and then while I'm driving, like my body starts like spazzing out big time, right? I compare it to like, Michael J. Fox looks, right? He's
Yeah.
just kind of
Yeah.
like
You're
that's
seized up.
yeah, and that's what my body was doing while I'm driving,
Right.
and it's like, oh shit. So like I stop, I pull over the side of the road, and I'm like, I'm bugging out pretty hard. I can't, I can't move. But like I somehow make it to get to Dilaudid. I do it, and I'm like, oh, okay. I'm better. Like it went away. Next day comes around, same thing happens. I'm driving somewhere, right? The whatever starts happening again. So now I'm freaked out. So I call my mom and I was like, listen, and at this point, like I've pretty much ruined any relationship I had with my mom. Like she doesn't believe a word I say. Doesn't want me staying there anymore because like I fucked it up every time.
Yeah.
So I call her, and she thinks I'm lying, and she thinks like this is just a ploy to try to get back, staying with her for a little while. Yeah, it turns out no, like I'm full on like having some sort of episode in the car. So I call her back. And I'm like, listen, like this is bad. I don't know what it is.
And she knows you're using.
Oh yeah,
at
yeah,
that point.
yeah.
She's caught you.
She's caught me. I've
You
lived with
stole
her.
from her.
I've stole from
Okay.
her. I've ruined that. Yeah, like
Right.
there's no
Understood.
trust there at all.
Understood.
So finally, like I tell her, like, no, look, this is like something's going on. So she sends my stepdad out. He comes and picks me up and takes me to the hospital. Like it was supposed to be like, all right, we're just dropping you off and that's it. Like we're leaving, we're done. And it's getting worse while I'm in the hospital. They check me in because like something's going on, right? They don't know what. And so I'm in the hospital. They're running some tests, and then in the span of a day, maybe two, like body full on shuts down completely. Like I've lost the ability to now talk. I can't move at all, like any of my body. So I'm basically like locked into my own brain. I'm fully aware of what's happening around me. I can think. I just can't move my body.
Like paralyzed.
Paralyzed, yeah, like locked in syndrome. Like it's and somehow like the hospital still doesn't know what's going on with me. I finally like I was kind of afraid to tell them that I stole this medication to begin with. Then like when I couldn't talk, like now I can't tell them anyway. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they're just like running all these I think useless
crazy.
tests, right? And I'm
you're in
like,
your mind thinking,
I'm
I
like
wish I
I'm
would've
stuck
told him.
like this because like I was too stupid to say anything. So somehow like I got my message across of like what I took. They like they figured it out and they're like, whoa, well, like how much did you take? And I told them how much I took, and they're like, oh, that's not good. So they really didn't know what to do because they never had this happen before. So they said like, okay, Haldols usually got a shelf life of like 30 to 90 days, and especially in this amount. So it's like, yeah, so this could last 30 to 90 days, or it could be this could be your new life.
Wow.
Yeah, so they shipped me off to like some nursing home to have me sit and wait and see what happens. So, yeah, I'm out. I'm probably 21 at this point. Now I'm in a nursing home. I can't talk. I mean, I can't talk. I can't move. And you talk about like a powerless feeling, man. I remember my first night. I went there and they just kind of like put me in my room and that was it, right? Like I couldn't do anything. I had a TV in there, but I couldn't do. So I'm just sitting in there, and I'm like, oh boy, this just got very real, very fast. And I don't know if I'm ever gonna get better. I could be trapped like this for the rest of my days, right?
Wow.
Yeah, terrifying
Almost like
feeling.
a vegetable, but worse.
But worse because I'm aware.
Your mind's alert.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
fully functioning mentally, physically, not so much.
I'd rather be in like a.
I'd rather be shot.
Yeah, fully induced coma. or
Yeah,
something.
kill me. So now it's just like a waiting game of like, will it get better? Won't it get better? And yeah, that's probably like, I've been to prison, right? And that was like, yeah, by far the worst experience of my life. There's nothing like every single day of your life. Like, I didn't really sleep that much. So like I'd be up all the time. So I'm just fully in this existence for the long haul. Like there's no escape. And I remember like the 9 to 11 o'clock hour on ABC or whatever, where they like played like The Price is Right, and then whatever the back-to-back lineup is. And I just remember thinking like, this has got to be hell.
Yeah.
This is what hell is. Like, so yeah, I literally, it was the most humiliating, like, they're putting diapers on me. And then this place it's not a terrible place, but they're not, I push my button, and I would just sit there until they can come clean it up. That was a challenge in itself, trying to push this button, right? Like, it was just it's impossible. And then sitting in your own filth all day, it was terrible. But like my dad, so he's in full addiction still at this point. My dad, to his credit, like this place was 40 minutes away from Columbus. This guy would come every single day to see me after he got off work with an addiction. He's there every single day. And I remember like, how does he do that? I had a habit and that took all my time, right? So like the one good thing I will say about my dad is that he was there every single day.
Yeah.
And then one day, I'm probably 2 months into the nursing home, and my dad decided to like take me to a movie. So he's like loading me up in the wheelchair. Like they're pushing me out, and then one of the nurses asked like, what movie you guys going to see? And then somehow like I spit the name of the movie out, right? And everybody's just looking at me like with their jaws open, like what? Where'd that come from?
You were thinking that too, huh?
Yeah, and like I don't remember like trying to like say it. I just did it, and I was like, oh whoa, that was weird. So at that point, like, okay, I can talk now, kind of, and then that turned into like, oh, I can kind of move again now, right?
After how long?
It was about 2 months. 2 months. I sat in the nursing home for 90 days total. 2 months is when I was like started to get my body back. And so like, hallelujah, right? God has spared me yet again.